Some stars seemed to be really set up for success, yet found themselves outside the spotlight. Who did Hollywood try to get on our big screen? Was it a model with famous eyebrows or a werewolf with great abs? Keep watching to find out. Australian actor Sam Worthington secured his place in film history when he led the cast of Avatar, James Cameron's groundbreaking, record-breaking sci-fi epic that became the highest-grossing film of all time. That was a great year for Worthington. While he was on the come-up, Esquire dared to ask the question that was on everyone's lips. Is Sam Worthington the greatest actor of our time? They noted, 5 movies, 5 leading roles, all coming out within months of one another. It seemed like the perfect set of circumstances for Worthington to rocket to the top of the A-list. Turns out, not so much. When TNT magazine asked him how it felt to be in so many high-profile films in such a short amount of time, he replied, "I hope I'm in more, to be honest." Unfortunately, despite leading roles in massive budget films like Clash of the Titans and Terminator Salvation, Worthington's career never really took off. Film fans on Reddit routinely discuss why Worthington didn't make it big, suggesting that he's a decent character actor that can't carry a film. Others have wondered if his choice of projects hampered his career. Worthington has continued to work regularly since his breakout year, but none of his subsequent roles have garnered him the press that Avatar did. He will be returning in the upcoming Avatar sequels, however, it remains to be seen if they will give him the boost he's been waiting for. Hollywood super couple Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith started their kids in showbiz early. They engineered daughter Willow Smith's Whip My Hair music debut and roped son Jaden into starring in films with Will. Jaden Smith's movie career began alongside his father in The Pursuit of Happiness. Then he stepped out from his dad's shadow to star in The Day the Earth Stood Still and The Karate Kid, holding his own opposite Keanu Reeves and Jackie Chan, respectively.
Focus! Always concentrate.
Pinkett Smith told Oprah.com that she had to make sure Jaden's father wasn't working him too hard. She said, "I tell Will, I understand there are certain things you're trying to instill in him, but at the end of the day, he's 11. You know what I mean? So, we had to find a nice balance." Will and Jaden reunited in M. Night Shyamalan's ill-considered After Earth, which was a box office flop that received a critical drubbing as well. Old enough to make some career choices on his own, the younger Smith largely stepped back from acting. He told USA Today, "The kinds of roles I was being offered weren't exactly what I was looking for." The 2020 film Life in a Year was his first and only lead role in a movie since 2013. While his filmography may not be as bustling as his parents, Jaden is a bona fide celebrity in his own right, a fashion icon and a musician. Lucy Hale hit it big with her role in Pretty Little Liars, but the rest of her resume is littered with shows that didn't take off and films that failed to impress. Hale's first taste of fame was American Juniors, a kid-focused spin-off of American Idol. Yet, even though she won the season and was part of the group formed in the finale, they disbanded when their music didn't produce hits. Years later, Jimmy Kimmel sprung an old clip on her.
Look at that crimped hair, what a mess.
Since Pretty Little Liars ended in 2017, Hale has led a number of shows that didn't stick around. She top-lined Riverdale spinoff Katie Keene, which was canceled after 1 season, and she was also the lead on Life Sentence, which only made it 13 episodes. She led the cast of Fantasy Island in 2020, but the film garnered a measly 8% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Truth or Dare was another Hale-led horror, which fared slightly better at 15%. Hale believes the AMC Plus crime drama Ragdoll will be, as Deadline put it, a new step in her career. She noted at a 2021 TCA's event that she felt boxed in by the teen drama associations of Pretty Little Liars and Katie Keene, explaining, "I made the conscious decision that after Katie Keene got canceled, I knew that the next job I did really had to creatively excite me." In the late aughts, British star Alex Pettyfer was poised to be the next big thing. He was the lead in Stormbreaker, positioning him for a breakout moment, but a string of disappointments followed. Roles in supernatural romance Beastly and alien invasion YA film I Am Number 4 failed to get Pettyfer to household name status despite predictions from Access Hollywood. Although he did have a major role in Magic Mike, he wasn't invited back for the sequel. So what went wrong? When his career failed to reach the heights he'd been predicting predicted to reach, the entertainment press reported on widespread rumors of difficult behavior. The Hollywood Reporter published an expose filled with reports that the actor was allegedly, quote, a nightmare to work with. Pettyfer later admitted to a feud with Magic Mike co-star Channing Tatum. He explained on Bret Easton Ellis' podcast that he'd rented an apartment from Tatum's friend and then refused to pay rent. Pettyfer added, Channing had already told everyone he didn't like me, and what Channing says goes because he's a movie star. In a 2019 interview with The Guardian, Pettyfer discussed his youthful mistakes. He explained, if I had the experience that I had today back then, I probably would have done things differently. But the reason that I'm the man I am today is because of the experiences I endured working as a young boy. When Hayden Christensen was cast in the Star Wars prequels as a younger version of the villain who would become Darth Vader, he probably thought he'd hit the big time. Unfortunately, the prequels did not go over well with critics or audiences. Additionally, Christensen's stilted line delivery in some of the film's more emotional sand-based scenes continues to be the source of much internet joking 2 decades later.
I don't like sand.
After his Star Wars performances received such poor reviews, Christensen tried a few different tracks to extend his fame. He starred in the critically adored lying journalist biopic Shattered Glass, and for a minute it seemed like things might turn around. Unfortunately, Christensen followed it up with the critically reviled action flick Jumper, and then he stopped playing ball and went home to Canada. He told the Toronto Star that he intentionally took a step back from Hollywood to try farming instead. He insisted, I don't really think about my career because the idea of a career is not something I can put a lot of thought into. I do the work that appeals to me, and I pass on films that would probably benefit my career. Christensen has continued to work sporadically, including as the son of a pizza maker opposite Emma Roberts in Little Italy. Next, he will be returning to the role that made him famous, playing Anakin once more in the Disney Plus series about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Britt Robertson has been poised for a breakthrough for more than a decade. The actor led The Secret Circle, a CW show with an ardent fan base, and she was considered such an up-and-comer that she appeared in the opening sequence of Scream 4, a spot famously reserved in the franchise for big names like Drew Barrymore and Jada Pinkett Smith. However, she told BuzzFeed that she feels like she wasted that role, saying, I just wish I would have taken advantage of it more. She added that she still hasn't seen the movie because she's afraid to watch herself in it. Her starring role in Disney's Tomorrowland was supposed to mark her arrival on the A-list, though she didn't like the pressure of being written about that way. She told the Los Angeles Times, I consider myself an actor. To think of myself in terms of business or a strategy or the next big star, some of the best advice I was ever given was, don't believe your own hype. Alas, her performance in Tomorrowland was poorly reviewed. A Citizen Times headline, for example, read, Tomorrowland much more charming than Britt Robertson. Since the film failed to make her a superstar, Robertson has led single-season shows like Girl Boss, Swingtown, and For the People. Rita Ora is a superstar in her native land, having racked up massive success across the pond. According to the official charts, Ora holds the record for the most top 10 songs by a British female. That being said, her success hasn't translated to American superstardom. When Tyra Banks stepped back from America's Next Top Model, Ora stepped up to host the show instead. After just one cycle, Ora got the chop and Banks made her return. Ora tried acting too, in the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, where she played Mia. However, despite a small role in Detective Pikachu, acting has so far also failed to put her on the A-list. When he was a child star, Spencer Breslin was everywhere. All in the space of 3 years, he starred in The Kid as a young Bruce Willis, the live-action version of The Cat in the Hat, Meet the Parents, and The Santa Claus 2. This made the little guy one to watch. But although he has continued to work, Spencer is nowhere near the household name he once was. His last high-profile role came in M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening. Otherwise, most of his films have been of the direct-to-video sort. It may be that Spencer's stardom has been fully eclipsed at this point by that of his little sister, Abigail Breslin, an Oscar nominee who starred in films such as Little Miss Sunshine, Signs, and Zombieland. The Breslin siblings appeared in Raising Helen together back in the day, and in unison, they told Jay Leno that their mother warned them,
Act like brother and sister, don't behave like brother and sister.
Model Cara Delevingne rose to fame in the early 2010s thanks to her instantly iconic eyebrows. In 2014, Nylon called her the only, quote, truly modern supermodel. Delevingne put her modeling career on hold to make a play for Hollywood superstardom, landing roles in Anna Karenina opposite Keira Knightley and in Paper Towns, an adaptation of a YA novel. Though her part in Anna Karenina was small and Paper Towns was a decent hit, her follow-up space opera Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets bombed hard. Her role as a villainous witch in Suicide Squad went over even worse, scraping together only a 26% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Delevingne, for her part, called the critical reaction to her performance horrific to Reuters. Looking back on her early roles, Delevingne told Elle UK, "Fashion really f***ed me when it came to acting." She went on to explain that she was too used to playing to the camera. In a later interview with The Guardian, she shared that she didn't mind people questioning whether she deserved a film career. She insisted, "I'm very professional. I work extremely hard, and also I like the fact that people were questioning my talent. Because to be honest, I like having to prove myself to people, you know? I don't want an easy ride." Taylor Lautner first hit the big screen as a child star in Robert Rodriguez's The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. However, he hit the big time with his role in the 5 films that made up the Twilight Saga. Lautner played Jacob Black, the werewolf who falls in love with a fast-aging vampire child. After the final film in the saga, Lautner did all of the things you're supposed to do in order to turn Buzz into a long-lasting career. First, he had a high-profile romance with none other than Taylor Swift. Next, he had a role in the rom-com Valentine's Day. Third, he took a star turn in an action movie called Abduction. All of the above failed to convert Lautner into a bona fide A-lister. Abduction was particularly poorly received, coming in at only 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Turns out that's a no-go.
His disappearance from film screens may have fans asking,
Where the hell have you been, Loca?
Lautner wasn't seen on screen since a 2018 role in the British comedy Cuckoo, till his appearance in Netflix's film Home Team opposite Kevin James. Even though he's no longer acting regularly, that doesn't seem to have hurt his bank account or his love life. According to American Luxury, Lautner purchased a $3.8 million home in Agora in 2020. The following year, he got engaged to yet another Taylor. The future Mrs. Lautner, Tay Dome, wrote on Instagram, "I cannot wait to spend forever with you." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.